What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Hosley, and this week I learned rubber cocks can't make true queef.
Wow. Hi guys, I am Kevin Matthews, a Scottish film fan living in England, and this week I learned that I have more diverse musical taste than I sometimes give myself credit for, because I recently enjoyed that new album by called Lux. That everyone's praising. It's by Rosaria, I think is the singer. I also then enjoyed an album from someone who performs with self-esteem. But when I find recommendations and do deep dives, I found an artist called Cupcake, and I'm sure Tyler knows this person because they have a song called Queef, and their other banging track is One of My Bedbugs Ate My Pussy.
Must be nice to like put away that Proclaimers CD and like.
Oh, that's
he
the
can't.
one.
You can't put away the Proclaimers. He's Scottish. Legally, he has to listen to that album at least once every 3 months.
I think it's a national anthem, isn't it?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's my phone ringtone. It's the doorbell. It plays in every room. Sometimes Vicky enjoys it. Sometimes she's screaming like, "What fresh hell is this?" And I'm just naming small Scottish towns that are going Kirkcaldy no more. So
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned I need to listen to less music when I found myself listening to a song called Donkey Gongs by Hey Say Jump, a Japanese boy band, and I realized I gone someplace I never ever should have been.
Hi, I'm Craig, film enjoyer living in England, and new segment of the show is Craig's health advice. My health advice this week is don't eat unidentified bubbling white sludge from the floor of an active quarry, because no good can come of it.
We had
even if it's delicious.
We had Thanksgiving in America yesterday.
Yeah.
In the United States, and that's all we fucking did. So, fuck you. You keep Thanksgiving in your way, and me and T will keep it in the goddamn American
Enjoy
way.
your quarry sludge. That's fine. I don't want to step on any toes. And this is Raiders of a Podcast.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! Well, this week, in an act of pure heroic, the capital letters heroic dedication, on a level like my co-hosts can barely imagine, I did homework. I did 4 pieces of homework, one from each of tonight's featured directors. Are you all suitably awed by my dedication?
I'm awed. And mildly aroused.
Nice. That's exactly the combo I was going for. I watched Brian Trenchard Smith's dystopian action satire Dead End Drive-In. I really like that one. Really enjoyed it. I think it's the longest in time from when I bought a Blu-ray to when I ripped the cellophane off. I think I broke that record today. It must be like a 10, 12-year-old Blu-ray, but I finally gave it a watch, and yeah, it's a really solid fight the system movie. It's kind of sledgehammer subtle but evergreen satire that rings really true today because nothing changes ever ever. Cast is solid. It's got a very cool kind of post-punk soundtrack, excellent production design, and some really like gorgeous, really unexpectedly gorgeous. Not that he doesn't make good-looking films, but this is like a step above most of his films. Some really gorgeous neon-soaked cinematography, particularly during like the big climactic showdown. Yeah, I really liked it. I wish the climax opened up a little more in terms of the characters involved. I wish it wasn't. Has everyone seen it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I can spoil. I wish it didn't end with just one character escaping from the dead end drive-in. I'd rather something where that one character inspired some of the people around him to do the same. But otherwise, no complaints. It's a good one. It's a good one. Probably not my favourite Bride Trenchard Smith because I love Turkey Shoot enormously, but it was a solid banger. Then I watched Lloyd Kaufman's action comedy Troma's War. And again, had a lot of fun with that one. It kind of it rarely goes like full on Troma. There's not a lot of shit. There's not a lot of genitals. It feels like half a Troma parody of 80s action movie excess, and half just like a bit of an amped up Andy Sedaris joint. Like literally thousands of squibs go off in this movie. I get the feeling it was only made because Lloyd ordered squibs for his last project and put an extra 0 on the quantity form, and he just had some, and they had to make this movie. And it's got possibly the highest on-screen body count in cinematic history. Like the bodies just pile up consistently, and it's pretty wild. And plus, hostages are deliberately given aids to solicit. I can't even remember what they're meant to solicit. They're just given aids because it's a Troma film. It's a lot, but I think that means it just really captures the absurdity of the films it's parodying. Parodying, yeah. But yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Have you seen Troma's War?
Yeah.
I have.
I'm not sure if I have. I can't remember.
Plane crashes on an island, lots of war, lots of AIDS fucking.
I think I always used to confuse it with because Troma did the recut version of Combat Shock, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so.
They
Yeah.
did.
And I know that might not make sense, but I think I've always confused it with that and thought I'd seen it, or thought I didn't need to see it because I'd seen Combat Shock and
Yeah.
that didn't work.
I don't think you'd mistake Troma's War for anything other than Troma's War. It's Troma's War. You couldn't mistake it. Then for my Jim Wynorski homework, I went with his Die Hard in a High School movie Demolition High. 25-year-old Corey Haim takes on terrorists, led by a kind of youngish Jeff Kober. Might know him from The Walking Dead and Sons of Anarchy. And he just slaughters lots and lots of terrorists with school supplies and power tools and terrible, terrible quips. It's the plot is like beat for beat fucking Die Hard, but there are enough like odd little moments that it kept my interest. It has the most random and unprovoked breast squeezing I've ever seen in a film, which is just a very Jim Wynorski moment. Like, it's bad. It's a bad movie, but it's fun, and it even has like the odd decent villain zinger. There was if I was counting on luck, I'd have voted libertarian. I was like, yes, I get that. I get that joke. I get that reference. So it's a bad movie, but I kind of like Demolition High, and I'm probably gonna watch Demolition University as well. Has anyone else enjoyed or just watched Demolition High?
I have seen
not.
it. Yeah.
I have not.
It's breezy, and there's quite a lot of like violent death. There's a kill with a circular saw, which is just an absolute banger. So it's not a waste of time. And then finally,
it's got Alan. Is it Alan Thicke? Alan Thicke is in it.
Yeah.
I'm
Alan
shocked
Thicke.
Tyler hasn't seen it. Yeah.
No, I have
like
not.
Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
It's a solid little, most blatant possible Die Hard ripoff. I liked it. I liked it. No, that's not too strong. I liked it. I'll give it like 6 out of 10. for
Ooh.
entertainment value. And then finally, I watched Larry Cohen's New York set monster movie Q, The Winged Serpent, and that was something. Like, I need to see. Kevin was talking about the commentary on the stuff. If there's a movie I could learn a lot more about, it would be Q, The Winged Serpent. I really want to know some behind the scenes shit, because I get the feeling that the film Larry Cohen wrote and prepared to make was probably something closer to Shin Godzilla. You know, the New York City bureaucracy coping with a giant Mayan bird lizard murdering people, and like there's still elements of that in there. But then you've got like Michael Moriarty, who improv'd every single line of dialogue and some scat singing, and just has built this character from the ground up, which is so fascinating. It's like someone has just dropped a Cassavetes film right in the middle of the giant lizard bird movie, and it's just kind of stunning to watch, because the conflict between those two things, you'd think it would be a conflict, but it's not. It's a story about the most extraordinary thing happening to the most ordinary person, and it's just it's exceptionally gory, and loads of people get their heads bitten off. But then you've at the centre of it, you've got Michael Moriarty just being an absolutely phenomenal actor, and just his improv is just out of this world. Just I became a huge fan after rewatching this and stuff. He's fantastic. I'll tell you what. One more film. Sorry, I will squeeze another one in. I watched Shelby Oaks, which is fine. Shelby Oaks is like if someone made you a mixtape. They gave you a mixtape, and you liked every song on it. And there are a couple of like deep cuts. Where you're like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. This is good stuff. But you have heard every song before, and it's not their music really. It's just a compilation of moments that they put together from other people's work. So it's fine, but like I say, it is very much a cinematic mixtape that I kind of forgot about pretty much the moment it finished. But you know, for a first effort, it's absolutely fine. You really liked that one, didn't you, T?
It's my horror film of the year, actually. Yeah, I loved it. But it's so reminiscent of Blair Witch. I think it just helped my love for it. Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
I mean, there's some Blair Witch, but there's way more Hereditary. And
Oh yeah, there's tons of Hereditary.
I think one of the things that bothered me, and it's something that bothers me a lot in all sorts of found footage films. I know it's not entirely found footage, but the lead actress in the film is really good in the film parts, and then when they cut to filming her for the found footage parts, she's kind of terrible. And it's interesting, like different types of performance you have to give when you're on camera within the world of the film, or you're just in the world of the film, if you know what I mean. Far
Are
too
you
many
talking? Are you talking about the missing sister or the sister that's looking for the sister?
the sister that's looking for the sister.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
She's great when you're in the film, but when you're in the found footage segments, she kind of sucks. And I just don't think people realise. I think it's harder than people. I think it's hard to act naturalistic in a found footage film, and I think a lot of people don't realise that until they're in it. But no, Shelby Oaks was fine, I guess. Ish. And that's me for the week.
Oh, I wish I'd gone that little. So it's my yearly bad movie marathon, and we're in the middle of it. So I'll have even more next week. So I'll just tell you the ones I'm thinking about right now. So I watched The
We're just going to be even
Materialist.
more drained next week.
Yeah. Oh
Even
man,
more emotionally drained.
it is so exhausting. Like I had to stop. I watched The Materialist. This is the last one I watched, and I had to stop after it because it just took everything out of me. Because I like the filmmaker. I think I am totally brain farting on.
Is it the director who did Past Lives?
Yes, it's the director that did Past Lives. It is
Celine
Celine
Song.
Song.
Yeah.
I could not remember the first name. Celine Song. I think they are incredibly talented. I think The Materialists is like a huge waste of talent on her part. It's just not good because Dakota Johnson kind of sucks. Like, she's fine. Okay, so her role has her being two things. There's the cold, aloof, professional her, and she's fine there. But then when she's got to be, human and act like she has emotions against two men who have charisma with literally like mannequins and cardboard cutouts of people, and she can't get that. Like, Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans can, like, they can do anything you ask them to with anything you ask them to do it with, except Dakota Johnson, which was a shock. I figured they could at least carry her, but no, nothing can carry her except nepotism. So she's terrible, but also the screenplay is terrible because, spoiler, they hinge everything on a tertiary character's rape, and it's very icky and disgusting, and it never confronts the things you think it's going to confront. Instead, it just kind of goes for a limp girl boss bullshit ending instead of, realizing that the real enemy and the real villain is capitalism. But what the fuck ever. I ranted about it. Fun fact, we know for a fact that women in democratic socialist countries in in Europe are enjoy sex better, and they're more romantically fulfilled than their American and UK counterparts. Just saying. Part of what's killing your love life? Late stage capitalism. I watched 28 Years Later. I really liked 28 Years Later at the end. It's one of the most nominated films this year. But yeah, okay, the first half was a little rough. But once the kid and his mom go out for their own adventure, it picks way up. It is solid stuff from that point on.
I love a freak
I'm
apocalypse.
yeah, I am.
Those are freaky as fuck people around.
I am really high. That's kind of the problem with the first half. The first half feels very much like, hey, we really like The Last of Us, so here's our version of The Last of Us. It's like, okay, whatever. But then it turns the corner and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm down for this. I can't wait for the next two. I watched Bride Hard and I hated Bride Hard. I hated Bride Hard so much. Like, I just felt bad for Steven Dorff and Colleen Camp. It's just it's atrocious. Anna Camp is bad, and I don't get why they keep putting Rebel Wilson in lead roles. She is atrocious. This film, there's nothing worse than a comedy that's just not funny, and that's this. The only thing that's close to a comedy that's not funny is an action film where there's no action, and that's also this. Simon West lucked out. His first film is Con Air. I have a big soft spot for Con Air. I will even admit that his first Tomb Raider movie is not bad, but 2 for 14, it is time to fucking retire. This film is an abomination.
Didn't he
I
make
watched
Expendables 2? He did.
yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That
Ben
is also
tried
an
his arse in that
abomination.
one.
Didn't he also do the Never Gonna Give You Up video?
I have no clue.
I think he did. I'm sure a friend on Facebook mentioned that today, and I was like, oh yes, that is something I need to remember. I
Then
might
he
be
never should have made
talking
anything.
out my backside, but
Does he get paid every time you rickroll someone?
I hope not.
He'd be
no.
absolutely loaded.
Loaded.
He did. He
I
did
also,
a few music videos. There was that, and there was Respectable by Mel and Kim, which is a banging 80s tune. Sorry, just had a quick Google of Simon West's
no, that's
music
that's
video
fine.
career.
Fine. I flipped a coin to see which Mickey Mouse slasher movie I'd watch, and I watched The Mousetrap. It exists, and that's all I have to say about that. It's like
Dear
a joke
Dave.
where there's no punchline, and it doesn't. Why make a Mickey Mouse slasher movie if you're not even gonna have the dude do the fucking accent? Like the voice.
Why make him teleport?
Yeah, what the fuck was that? Like, he was a normal guy, then he puts on the mask and he can teleport. Yeah, but anyway, it's bad. They don't even do like some inside jokes. I watched War of the Worlds with Ice Cube, and you know what? I didn't hate it. I didn't like enjoy it, but I didn't hate it. It's a B movie, and it's not the worst I've seen. I would watch it again if I had to. I might not forgive the people that make me watch it again, but it didn't actually hurt. Yeah, it's a creepy Screen Life Amazon Prime ad that reminds you that Amazon is watching you even closer than the NSA is, but you know, it didn't cause me pain. It was just cheesy and dumb. I watched Our Times, which was it's a Spanish language film about a pair of physicists, a couple who travel forward to 2025, and like I started I enjoyed most of it. I really liked the lead woman who is, one name Mexican actress, and I can't remember what that one name is. She was really good, but then they decide to tackle some sexual politics, but they don't really have anything to say about it or anything, and it's poorly handled, and it's kind of out of nowhere, and then it leads to a really limp, wet fart of an ending that just kind of makes it all dumb and pointless. I didn't hate it, but it's just one of those ones where it was not as good as the sum of its parts. It had bits. It should have been better than it was. Like this should have been a 4 episode limited series. I think they could have done something really good with it, but instead it's an 80-minute movie that makes eyes at grander themes and then fails to deliver. I watched The Electric State, which I fucking hated. Have you guys seen The Electric State?
I have not.
No.
Yes, Dave. And and the fact that you didn't spontaneously combust while watching it has
Mm.
astounded me.
The book is amazing. Everybody should go read the book. Book is fantastic. The movie, made by the Russo brothers and written by Chris Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who wrote a lot of MCU movies, and starring the worst Chris, is shit. And the Russo brothers, Marcus, McFeely, and worst Chris, should be put against the wall for it. It is a crime against art and humanity. Now, I've said that before jokingly, but I truly, truly mean it this time. This film is a cinematic suppository of razor blades. And yeah, they just need to be shot in the face until they're just unidentifiable sacks of shit and meat and dragged through the streets of LA so nobody does an abomination like this ever again. It's atrocious. And there is no forgiveness for this pile of shit. Uh, Millie Bobby Brown sucks in it, but whatever. The rest of the cast, it's got a good cast that are wasted, and they're trying. They just don't have any directors that can direct them, or a screenplay that's worth reading, or leads that are worth giving any performance against. So it sucks. Part of me was still sort of happy that Huey Kwan's having a little comeback, but now I'm not so sure. He needs to at least fire his agent because the person apparently low-key resents him. I watched The Home starring Pete Davidson, and that just kind of sucked. It's boring. The wheels come off way too early. And then the blood-soaked finale just made me want to dig out and play Manhunt 2 on my PlayStation, because that would have been more interesting than what's on screen. It's not the worst, but it's not good.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm in the courtroom and the lawyer's saying to me, "Did you hear David threaten the Russo brothers, threaten to take their lives?" And I have to kind of say, "Well, yes, because it's on the podcast." And then they say to me, "Do you think he's actually capable of it?" And then what do I say? Because
You,
the answer is yes.
you say yes, yeah. You've got to be
I'm
honest.
sorry, man. I'm just gonna say, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
well,
Dave, but yeah, he could have done it. He could have
I,
done it.
I could have done it. I could have done it. So I hope they have long lives, because I don't want to go to jail for killing them. I wouldn't do it. Just threaten it. I want society to do it for me. God, do something right,
Like
society.
pitchforks and
Pitchforks
yeah.
and torches and street trials. That's what I want. Fuck the Russos.
that you, Dave?
That is me, yeah.
Okay. Well, funnily enough, you hated Pete Davidson in The Home, and I can't recall if I mentioned Riff Raff last week, which has Pete Davidson in it. Do you
I think you
recall if I
did.
mentioned that one? I did.
I
I
don't
believe
remember.
you did.
Right, yeah. So I don't need to go over that one again then. Right. Other than what we watched for the podcast, I didn't have loads of time. I've been getting through some TV stuff, but I did watch a few things. So I watched The Celluloid Closet, which was a documentary on Mubi, and it's about the representation of homosexuality on screen, how it's changed, how it was coded for a while, then extra coded when the Hays Code was there, and how things are, getting better in modern cinema to a degree, but there's still a lot of progress to be made. I liked it. I liked it, particularly the scenes. Like sometimes I wonder how oblivious I am when I'm watching something, and then people are discussing and dissecting it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's clearly a little closeted gay romance happening there when they couldn't spell it out. But I don't always see it when it isn't spelled out, but when it's couched in a documentary exploring these various moments, it's really good to just be reminded of that and the long battle. I then followed that up with I forget the exact title. I think it's called The Life and Times of Harvey Milk. It was obviously a documentary about Harvey Milk. Now all
That
I
is the
know,
documentary, the life and times of.
yes, all I know about Harvey Milk, all I knew was that Sean Penn played him in a film. He was a gay public figure. That's what I knew. And watching this documentary, it was pretty great, and it's pretty. I actually was flabbergasted by the end. Like I actually didn't know the circumstances of his death. I think I'd heard he was shot, but I mean the circumstances around that are just it's it's both wild and shocking, and yet also depressingly not that surprising. It's that weird combination, especially when we see these kinds of acts committed, consistently through the years by people who get lesser sentences or let off with it if they fit the right criteria. Basically, just being like this, straight white guy, or claiming to be straight white guy. I'm going to say it's it's mad, but it also was great to. I think it really impresses upon you how good he was at what he was doing. I think Harvey Milk just. I mean, he seemed like a fantastic public figure who stood by his morals on a variety of different topics and tried to convince people about the slippery slope that they could go on if certain things were, restricted or repressed or rules were brought in just for one section. There's a moment with them on it's like a panel show, a TV panel show, and some guys arguing against or arguing for some ruling or law that will limit certain freedoms for homosexuals, and of course he's using statistics, well, not statistics, made up statistics about child abuse and assault, and then Harvey Milk and the person alongside him is just going back to with these, you don't have any facts, you don't, this is all false, and you'll know that it's overwhelmingly straight white men or whatever demographic he counters with. It was brilliant, and I would encourage anyone else who knew as little as I did about him and his life to check that out. Really, really good stuff.
I've been meaning to check out both of those documentaries on Mubi. They are on my list.
Yeah, they're really good. The annoying thing about movies, when films run there for 30 days, and I tried to obsessively keep up with them.
Yeah.
I think I did for about 2 or 3 years in a row. It was just always marking them off. So now they've got that freeform thing, and if I do have a couple of busy weeks, I keep the titles on just on a notes thing on my computer. So I went back to check. So I've now lost like 2 short films that you can't find anywhere else. So they're just gone. I hate that. I hate that they sort of went away from their USP, as it were. I mean, I can see the pros and cons for it, but I just, in my mind, with the way I like to order things, I like a movie a day, 30 days is the limit scheme. But there you go. Yeah, I would encourage you to get to both of those before they potentially disappear anyway, because I don't know what the time limit is on any of them now. Come and go.
No.
I also watched a documentary called Vice is Broke, which I liked. Tyler, did you get around to this one? I remember mentioning it to you when I first saw it appear.
I have not yet.
So, it's not as good as I hoped it would be. It's hosted by Eddie Huang, and he explains sort of his place, and he's basically pursuing this story because he was owed a lot of money from Vice as well, and I'm sure quite a few other people were as well. It works well for a snapshot and kind of a point and exploration of the time and place that allowed Vice to have a moment. But it doesn't really, I think, you know, go far enough in condemning what was really quite a shitty place and atmosphere from the start. They go on about it being good, and it was okay because you were larking about with friends, and there was one person who liked to always push the envelope, and there was this guy here, and oh, he offered you a hot dog, but oh, it was his dick in a bun. It's okay, even put ketchup on it. And I'm listening to these tales, just thinking, yeah, it sounds horrendous. But for the people who sort of were there towards the end and had enjoyed a certain golden period in the middle, they still view the rest of it as good stuff. And all that behavior is to do with oh, fuck the establishment, it's punk rock and all that. It's just, I mean, it's just horrible racism, misogyny, and homophobia for the most part. So it's a shame that it didn't go out of their way to explore from the beginning how things were already out of hand. I would say from the very start, and folk should have been more roundly condemned. Speaking of
Worst
round,
part of the hot dog thing, the penis in the bun, is where's my hot dog? It's not so much that there's a penis there. It's like I love hot dogs. Where is my hot dog?
that's true.
My thing is, what did you expect from Vice? You know, the guy that founded Vice also founded the Proud Boys, right?
Oh,
Actually, I learned about is it Gavin something?
Kevin McInes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like he gets a moment in there, so Eddie Huang meets him, and I'm like, take him more to task, because Eddie, I think it's Eddie Huang. I might have misremembered his name, but anyway, he's saying, "Oh, I don't. If I believed that he really believed all this, I would, struggle more. But I really think he's this character to provoke these arguments and these reactions." I'm like, no, he's kind of showing you what he is, as he's been showing people for decades. Like, stop giving these little get out clauses to people who are quite clearly sitting there being like, well, Hitler didn't have too many bad ideas. He says something at one point along those lines, and then he's trying to sit there and say, yeah, but if I'm opposite a Holocaust now, I don't want to give them any credence, but I could argue with them about other topics. I'm like, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
Clearly an
But that,
asshole.
but that guy is Eddie Huang, and he created Fresh Off the Boat. It's based on his autobiography.
Yes, it has that, and it has it has a bit of his story to introduce like him, and
I
then how he ended up getting
yeah.
involved in that.
I've seen it. I don't remember how much. I didn't remember how much of it went into him personally, but okay. It's
Well,
been a
not
minute.
not loads, but enough to show like where he was at in his life, and then looking to sort of move because he has his I think he already has his restaurant business then, or he's making a name for himself in the restaurant business as well. There's lots of stuff going on. There's a great moment in it where he is talking to God. I forget that it's another. Is it Mike Busey? I think. Uh, the surname might be Busey. It's somebody who would do. They had this reputation for being like the big party house, and it was this place in the middle of nowhere. We would just partying and fireworks would go off and drink. And Eddie Huang does say like this is just stupid. They're doing this reporting. He's like, I don't want to hang about. This is stupid. And this other guy comes up to him, and they're talking, and it's like that's the one person where he turns around to. He's trying to be diplomatic, but he's like, I just think you're doing this and it's not going to get you the image you want. People are going to point and laugh. And you've got these women dripping watermelon down them, and you've got this guy who's fat with his underpants on shooting guns, and it's just that kind of thing. And the other guy says, well, we've been outcast for quite some time, so we enjoy coming here and being equal together and having this fun, and that was a good moment because that was like a kind of nicely contextualized confrontation. I wish it'd been more like that, whether it stayed nice or if it had got more heated. Like I never got into Vice, so I didn't really like it. Kind of passed me by, apart from knowing the brand and some of their you know, reporting, for want of a better word. This still feels like there's a bit too much of an air of people wanting to celebrate it when it should just be thrown on the skip and burnt with a lot of other really bad decisions and movements from the past couple of decades. But in an effort to show that I do sometimes listen to my co-hosts and take their opinions on board, and I care, and we're a lovely unit, I got around to Leave Her to Heaven. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, it was wonderful. I don't put this as top tier Gene Tierney, but that's just in comparison to Allens. I give this a really solidly endorsed 9 out of 10. I love it. It it works in large part to Gene Tierney. Like someone else could have been in that role, but they would have to be working as good in that role as her, and that means like believing that leads would really fall for her quickly, believing that she can be that seemingly wonderful for a long time, and then believing everything that happens in the second half when it gets dark. I did not think it would get this dark. I have confused this for years with some slightly soppy, sad Douglas Sirk movie, and I'm like, oh no, no, she's making plans that don't look good for people around her that may take up time and attention of her new husband.
There's an
And
amazing bit where she's planning a little trip down the stairs, and
yeah,
she picks out her outfit. She really puts thought into which outfit she should be wearing, and she's found crumpled at the bottom of the stairs. And it's just I love that scene.
it's so great because it there are moments that are when you pick them apart, they're so dark. She's so monstrous at times, but then you're like, oh, Jean Tierney's lovely.
I,
There's just, there's just enough to soften the edges somewhat while you're watching this really dark, horrible stuff. And Cornell Wilde was good. He's a bit of a it's like wet blanket in that role, but he does what's needed. But it was great to see Vincent Price used well, almost like bookends to really make a few scenes pop. So yeah, I appreciate the nudge, and I really liked it. So that is that one done.
I just
That-
want to know if you can say top tier Tierney top tier 5 times fast.
I'm not even gonna try.
I mean,
Is there a
wise.
third film in the Vincent Price tries to marry Jean Tierney, but it just doesn't work out?
Well, I mean, they're in Dragonwyck together, but I can't remember if if they are. Well, I think there's some relationship, isn't there, Dave?
I don't remember. They're also in Hudson Bay together, and that's the one I was trying to think of. How
But he's
they're together.
definitely terrible at marrying Jean Tierney.
He's really bad at marrying Jean Tierney.
Yeah, it's his. It's if you found him dying in some street corner, you'd be like, ah, trying to marry Jean Tierney was my only weakness. It's just be like destitute and huddled up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, in Hudson Bay, he doesn't try to marry Tierney, but they are both in it. He plays Charles II and I think he banishes the somebody who does marry Jean Tierney, so he kicks it off. It's been a while since I've watched it, so I'm trying to remember.
I believe he made 4 films with her. I don't blame him for stalking her, but it's crazy.
I mean, no. Or vice versa. I hope they
Yeah.
stalked each other. In a perfect world.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just remembered. I actually really wanted to talk about this. I know I've gone on. We watched I Swear this evening, and Craig, I'm sure you'll have been aware of it because it did really well in the UK and it's had a big advertising campaign.
Yeah, I really like Robert Aramayo. He's a fantastic young actor.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean he's brilliant. Dave, Tyler, have you heard of this one? Has it made any impact over there yet?
I don't think so.
I've only heard of it because I saw it while on a dubious website while gearing
Right.
up for my dubious marathon.
So the main character John Davison is, I think, probably one of the most famous people who enlightened others about Tourette's, essentially. But when he was first afflicted and then roughly diagnosed, there was a lot less known about it. It was the early to mid 80s. So this shows you his life, and his campaigning led to like a big personal moment for him. So that's the story basically. But the lead is so good. Peter Mullen's in a small role in there. He's great. I think it's Maxine Peake who is the other woman in there. Let me just check that. Sorry. And I mean, Vic and I are watching it. Sometimes we're in tears. Sometimes we're laughing. Tourette's is, I say to Vicky, I'm glad I didn't go to school with anyone with Tourette's because I know as a kid I would have been a little shit, and I would have spent my adult years feeling really bad, knowing that it was a condition that someone had and I knew nothing about this kid. And as a kid, I had many other ways to be a little shit anyway. So there's that aspect of it. It's just, it does a great job though of, it balances the humor, and there is humor from the exclamations and the timing of statements, and it knows that, but also shows the frustration for the main character, the physical and mental exhaustion. It's just like it's a really well-rounded picture of Tourette's, and shows other people who have Tourette's as well, and it's just like it actually makes you think more about it. And have I ever encountered whether it was Tourette's or maybe some other tics and issues that someone has, have I maybe not considered that they might have had any of these issues and just backed away from someone who I thought was being a bit loud, or sort of laughed at someone who burst out into some rant or yell in the supermarket or something. Like it really does, like succeed immensely at what it does, and it was just brilliant. And I want to mention that because I do recommend it to everyone. And yeah, it just made me think a lot about that. And there are people who um, present themselves in ways that are showing themselves living with Tourette's, and they know that there are times where it can seem funny as well. And as I say, this does a really good job of balancing the moments that seem funny with everything else that you realise would 24/7 drag someone down with this. And yeah, it was brilliant. So I'm sorry to go on. I just wanted to make sure I got that one mentioned.
I also did some homework, not quite as much as Craig, just one, but I did some homework. I watched Cheerleader Massacre. They're cute, they're perky, and they have great pom poms. That's not the title, but I just wanted to say that. Um, it's a sequel to Slumber Party Massacre, and it has Brink Stevens reprising her role from the original. It also looks like it was shot on a 2002 Nokia flip phone, and it's edited like the Skinamax movies I used to jerk off to when I hit puberty. So
You do.
that's what this movie is. It also has 30-year-old teens soaping their tits in the shower and pouring chocolate on their nipples while said 30-year-old teens lick off the chocolate in a jacuzzi tub, probably in Jim Wynorski's house.
They're not even
So
30-year-old teens. They're just two women that aren't connected to the main story. I've seen it. Yeah, I remember.
was that the same killer from the original too? Not the actor, but was it
I
supposed to be the
I
same
think it's
killer?
supposed to be the same killer.
Okay, because he was wearing the
Yeah.
same like outfit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the same killer, but you know.
Yeah, he just time traveled to like 2003 instead of being in what 87, 86. So yeah. Um I mean, it's not good at all, but I'd watch it again. And to quote Dave, it's better than Electric Dreams, which I haven't seen, so I'm sure it is better than that one. Besides that, I rewatched In the Realm of the Senses, another Tyler favorite. That movie is perfect. We covered that on here. And I watched Challengers again, which for me, that is one of the very best films of 2024. Luca is amazing. And yeah, that Trent Reznor score fucking slaps. I love that score. Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but just a bunch of TV. So yeah, that's me.
This week, we watched the 2006 black comedy musical horror Poltergeist: Night of the Chicken Dead, the 1978 Australian mockumentary musical action film. There were two musicals this week, Jesus. Stunt Rock, the 1985 American sci-fi horror film The Stuff, and the 1986 American techno horror film Chopping Mall. Hey, T,
Yes.
would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it?
Sure, I'm gonna go with your pick, Dave. I want to go with Shopping Mall,
Yay!
which is about a group of young shopping mall employees who stay behind for like a late night of partying, and when the mall goes on lockdown before they can get out, the robot security system like malfunctions and just kills everybody. Shopping Mall is a fucking blast. I love the mall as a setting for a horror film. I wish there was more. A very long time ago when I was in like high school, I started writing a script called Mall of Mutilation, which was about teens who sneak into a mall overnight and get picked off one by a serial killer. That never happened, but I did write a script like that. I just love the whole mall setting, like I said. But yeah, the robots in this are kind of amazing, and I love how they say "thank you, have a nice day" after every kill. That's just fucking hilarious. They look so wonderfully 80s too, super cheesy, but still like super cool. I swear to God, Alpha 5 from Power Rangers is wearing the head from one of these robots. Like 100%. That is one of those heads. It's identical. Um, the cast, I mean, the cast isn't great. I mean, none of the acting is really good, but who cares? I mean, they're perfectly fine in this particular movie. But yeah, this has everything a cheesy B movie from Jim Wynorski should have. I mean, there's tits, exploding heads, horny teens, a really fun 80s score. It's a blast of trash. I really dig this one.
I would tend to agree with Tyler on this one. And yeah, it's a firm favorite. It's kind of ridiculous, but but it works. It's just it's a concept movie, and the concept is fun for what you want. I am always disappointed that you don't actually get the poster imagery of the crazy monster arm carrying the shopping bag full of severed body parts, but there you go, can't have everything. Kelly Maroney's good. Tony O'Dell is decent as well as Ferdy, the guy that is sort of paired up with her. There's not enough Barbara Crampton in this. I mean, it's close, but there's not enough Barbara Crampton in this. I find Dick Miller cameo once again playing Walter Paisley, which is always good, and yeah, well, I can't. What was it that I thought of this time? This time was weird for me when I realized that Robot. It was doing something where it throws the guy off the top balcony. I just like it did something with its mechanism that seemed to take ages, but the guy was waiting there to let it grab him and then throw him off the balcony. When you start thinking of the physics and the reality of this, then you're in trouble. And I started to get inside my own head about it. I started to pick apart, and that's not the way they should be viewed. They should be viewed as a bunch of short circuit robots go homicidal in a mall. You've even got, I recognised Garrett Graham this time as a technician. I can't recall if I'd recognised him before. So there are other cameos as well dotted about. For Jim Wynorski movies, for standard Jim Wynorski movies, this is one of his best ones. It's a lot of fun. It was I would call it a video favourite. And I don't imagine any like cheesy horror sci-fi fans who would dislike this one. It just zips by as well. It's like just under 80 minutes, I think, for the runtime, which is pretty
Yeah.
perfect.
76
Yeah.
minutes.
I wish it had done a bit more with some of the mall options, but then again, I say that would work against that tight run time and just having the group and having everybody ready to be picked off and having the fun. So what do I know? Wynorski made the call. He's better than me. Although let's remember, Wynorski just worships busty blondes about as much as Tyler does. I think I said to you guys before, I was connected with him on social media for a while, and I realised that connection ended, and I looked at his friends list. It was almost like 98% just busty blondes that he knew. So I was like, oh well, no hard feelings. I know that I'm not his type to be seeing up here online.
Okay. Shopping mall is essentially like a cinematic breathalyzer for me, because if you ask me my favourite film, what's your favourite film where Dick Miller gets killed by a robot? If I say The Terminator, I'm all good. I can have a couple more beers. If I say Chopping Mall, it's time for bed. I've crossed the line. But I will mean it. Like, get the right amount of beer in me, and I will speak very passionately on the subject of Chopping Mall and how it's better than the Terminator, which it isn't. But it's just one of those films where just beer adds to it exponentially. It's just a real fun Friday night beer film. First, I'm an easy fucking mark, man. I'm just real easy. Give me one solid moment of gore in a horror film, and instantly it's a Craig 7. It's getting 7 out of 10. Just for a really special moment of gore. And this has got an all-time top 10 head explosion. Maybe top 5. Like, it's up there with Maniac. It's up there with Deadly Friend. Even Scanners. It's powerful and chunky and wet, and I love it. It's an amazing exploding head. The production design is really good. Like I love the physical design of the robots as well. Like T, I think paired with the sound design, that makes the robots a lot of fun. They have a ton of personality. They're mischievous. You know, that's a fun vibe. It's a fun vibe I like in my like 80s horror. The costume design is solid. You know who the good girl is. You know, good in inverted commas. Who the good girl is, and you know who can reprogram the elevator if need be because he's wearing glasses. The mall looks good. Could be like kind of a drab setting, but little neon lighting, little set decoration goes a long way. And plus, you've got things like Peckinpah's sporting goods. It's not the sort of gag where I'm rolling around on the floor, but it's cute. I like that those little elements have been thought of. It did remind me though. There's a part that reminded me that pet stores used to be the most insane places on earth. But you used to have just puppies and kittens on shelves, like overnight. That's just absolutely insane. I really like the cast. They all play it like commendably straight, and there's a surprising lack of douchebags in this film because 80s horror. There's always at least one douchebag, and there aren't here. There's just a bunch of like nice kids who are all friends, who are all genuinely invested in each other's survival. It's kind of unusual. Standouts for me, Kelly Maroney. She's adorable. It takes a lot of natural charm to offset like the boundless horrors of her hair, but she pulls it off really easily. I always enjoy her. And the other one is John Terlesky, who Wynorski later cast as like the most unconvincing barbarian of all time in Deathstalker 2. He's the first killer out of his kids, and he takes the bell way too early, I think, because he's just got the most tremendous shit-eating grin, and he's got a jaw like Robert Zadar. It's incredible. Like you think he's chewing gum throughout the film, but he's not. He's probably just chewing rocks, just handfuls of rocks. I like him in other things. So I wish he got a bit more time. It's even sort of like kind of prescient in a way, like something meant to deter shoplifters being armed with military grade weaponry. It's very cop coded. Like I don't know how intentional that is, but it seems to have it could have a little like vein of satire in it. It's good. It's fun. Like I don't know if Wynorski is a good director. I'm not really sure. Wynorski's kind of reverse of the norm because he's just a frustrated soft pornographer who occasionally has to make feature films so he can afford to go and make some more softcore garrots, which is fine, man. I'm glad like he's happy. I have Chopping Mall, so I'm happy. Like everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner. Probably apart from like. I don't know if Wynorski has an intimacy coordinator these days. He might not have any choice, and he must hate that man or woman with the heat of 1,000 suns. But basically, everyone's a winner because Chopping Mall is wonderful. Yeah.
I can't recall what age Jim Wynorski is, but he'll have been given an intimacy coordinator and then has texted him at 11:30 at night saying, "Hello, coordinate me some intimacy now. I like this lady at the end of the bar." And he's totally misunderstood that and thinks they're just there to arrange his hookups.
Probably.
Jim is 75 now. I am a big fan of Chopping Mall, as the whole reason we did this special this week is because I wanted to watch Chopping Mall. I wanted to show my niece Chopping Mall. I did make her leave the room during the weird furniture store orgy. Explain one thing to me, guys. Why is there a married couple going to meet up with teenagers to fuck in a furniture store? Explain their presence to me. Is that like a kink I wasn't aware of, T?
What was it?
Why? Of the three couples, one, they're married. They are older than everyone else and married.
Yeah.
Why aren't they fucking at home? Why did they go to fuck at a furniture store in the mall? They have a home. They mentioned their home.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe it's that maybe they don't want to get jizz on their furniture, Dave. Jeez.
They have that whole
Then
conversation about their business
you get the
plans and
plastic
stuff.
wrap. Yeah.
They need to be allowed to fuck in a furniture store. They need some spark other than the discussions about going over the books for their business plan.
Gotcha. Yeah, as everybody else has said, Kelly Maroney is great. She is fantastic and a wonderful final girl. This and the always wonderful and worth mentioning Night of the Comet are two 80s classics for myself. Paul Bartel and Mary Woronov show up in the beginning, and they're like the only evil people in the movie. And their evil is just mocking a propaganda film pushing robot cops. I love them. I love their scene. Garrett Graham is one of the technicians. Good old Garrett Graham, or Beef, from everyone's favorite rock horror musical, Phantom of the Opera, or Phantom of the Paradise. I'm sorry, Anna. I'm so sorry. Of course, Dick Miller's always great, and this is, I'm sorry, everyone, this is my favorite movie where Dick Miller is killed by a robot. Like, I like Terminator, fine, but I would watch Chopping Mall 10 times out of 10 over Terminator. I said it.
That's some controversial shit.
Judge me as much as you fucking want. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And there's no weird homeless guy sex, which, you know, that just breaks the immersion of Terminator for me, because that man smells. He's wearing a homeless man's pants without underwear. There's no time where that is sexy time. Okay? Ever. Ever. And that's not against homeless people. I like the homeless people I've known. Just a smell issue. Because he didn't wash those. He didn't wash those. Anyway, Barbara Crompton is great. Todd Russell and Carrie Emerson are solid as the ones that, you know, die too soon. But it's a fun one. I am a big fan. As I said, it's very heavy on its capitalist parable during the Reagan years. They all but burned down one of the most filmed in malls. That is the oh crap, what's it called? Sherman Oaks Galleria, where Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Commando were also filmed. Because if you see it, you go, oh hey, it's the mall that Commando's in. But I think some other bits of it are filmed in the Beverly Center, which is another big LA mall. But mostly it's the Sherman Oaks Galleria, which makes 2 Sherman Oaks references tonight. Yay us.
And again, they only filmed some scenes in the Beverly Center because Jim Wynorski thought that was the name of a high-class hooker around the corner.
Well, they were supposed to film all of it in the Beverly Center, but they fucked up getting their stuff. The robots were originally supposed to be big balloons like Rover from the BBC classic TV series The Prisoner, but then the BBC said, you fucking do that, we'll sue the shit out of you. And Jim went, let's build some remote control robots. And that's how we got the ones we have. And they're wonderful. I love them. They're the worst they're the worst designed robots ever, but they're amazing. I'm going to go with The Stuff, 1985. Directed by Larry Cohen, who, if you haven't seen Larry Cohen movies, you should watch more Larry Cohen movies. Starring Michael Moriarty, Garrett Morris, Andrea Maricovi, and Paul Sorvino. It is about the stuff, a delicious white fluff type matter that is found on the ground in a quarry, and someone decides to eat it. But it's calorie-free, addictive, and delicious. And it will turn you into a zombie. And that's what it's about. The ice cream manufacturers hire... God, this is the best. I'm sorry. I love this setup. Hire a corporate espionage expert to learn more about the stuff so they can crush them and save ice cream. And he just gets drawn into some ridiculous shit from there. I adore the stuff. The action scenes are fun. Michael Moriarty's Mo Rutherford is a great character. He's like the most 80s hero ever. He's a total asshole who only cares about making money and still gets the girl in the end. Andrea Markovici, I think. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. If she hears it, I am so sorry. Is I can't even remember the word for what she does for a living. She's an advertising exec who works for the stuff. She's really good. She works really well with Michael Moriarty. Grant Morris, one of the original old school Saturday Night Live performers, is really good as Chocolate Chip Charlie, an ousted former ice cream mogul. Paul Sorvino is great as Colonel Malcolm Gromit Spears, the leader of a militia, a very, very racist and awful militia. The kid and his family are fun. There's some really good stuff going on in this. I really enjoy the stuff, and I hadn't seen it in a long time. It's well shot. Again, the action scenes are fun. There's a lot of creative and interesting stuff going on. You should watch the stuff.
Yeah. Again, it's easy to jump on and just agree with what people say for the most part this week. But the stuff's a good one. I'm glad that we have for years had films available on VHS and in other ways to revisit. Because when I first saw this, I heard about this stuff when I was 10, 11, 12, whatever age it was coming out of video, and I watched it, and I pretended to like it more than I did, because really, there are a couple of good scenes for someone who's a kid just looking for what you think might be a gory, scary zombification movie, and it isn't that. So when I rewatched it when I was older, I knew it wasn't that, and I could enjoy it for what it was, which was this satire, this look at consumerism and advertising, and it has some tension throughout. So I really, really like that. I also really, really like Michael Moriarty. I think he's so much fun in this. It's ridiculous how well he worked with Cohen, and he had a style which was very much off script, and I think some people could work with him better than others, but Cohen seemed to manage to work around that really well. He's so much fun here, just so much fun. So much so that I don't think many other people get a look in. Like Markovic's okay. Garrett Morris is okay. It helps he gets the sort of the big moment that was pushed in the advertising. I like Savino. Scott Bloom, who plays the kid, when I was digging into this film and checking who went where, he played the bandit in some TV version of Smokey and the Bandit. What is going on? Why would you do a TV series of Smokey and the Bandit? I'm directing this question at you, Dave. I want to know what the hell is going on over there. Like, America's done some bad shit over the years, but that is one of the worst. No hyperbole. What is going on?
I didn't even know that was a thing. I knew that he was in Smoking Aces, but that is you dove deeper into his filmography than
Yeah, it was.
I
Well,
did.
I don't know if it was a series or like a few TV movies, but he was in one of the Bandit movies anyway. And
Bandit Silver Angel, 1994. I've never heard of this.
yeah.
He is Bandit, and wow.
Well, he's
On my
in it.
list.
I think his brother's Bandit, because his brother's in this as well, isn't he? Playing the
Oh
brother.
yeah.
So he's in it.
Yeah,
So I got them mixed
Brian.
up
Okay,
with first.
Brian is Bandit. Scott is Martin, and Tracy Lords is Sally Fields. Okay, that is fuck. I'm gonna watch the shit out of this.
I know,
Why?
right? Like, it's
I
not something that should shoot up on my
what?
list of priorities. But I'm like, wait, how many Bandit TV
I
movies did they do? What's going on?
I don't know, but I googled it and it came up under the German title, so that makes me like Elizabeth Berkley's in it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna watch the fuck out of this.
I mean,
Sorry, I've been totally sidetracked.
that's the last was about 4 or 5. So it's, it's yeah. There's got to be a fun time to be had. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Danny Aiello has a small role in this, and that was fun. And you can tell he generally looks like he's shitting himself with that dog. Like,
He is
the scene
shitting himself. Yeah.
with the dog getting mean, and Danny Aiello looks properly like he does not want to be sharing the scene with that dog. It's just, it's a fun film. It gets to the heart of things right away, because as we've already mentioned, somebody finds it bubbling out of the ground, and then obviously they reach down and have a taste of it. Then you cut to having seen this successful advertising campaign, and it's pretty much in every household. The other thing I wanted to mention though is that I always forget they have a sequence here where they ended up using, I believe it's the same box room that they used for the Nightmare on Elm Street effect with the geezer of blood from the bed. They do that with a moment here with the stuff and someone getting stuck in their bed. It was basically someone getting stuck in a bed. There's white stuff everywhere. They're up the wall. There's white stuff everywhere. The bed's a mess. I thought I'd put it onto the webcam for Tyler again by mistake, but it turns out it was just another bit in the film. But yeah, that's that room that turns on I guess a big gimbal or whatever. That's It's great that it's kind of this cheap and cheerful movie, but when it does go for the effects, I think the overall they hold up quite well. I know there are a couple of bits that look dodgy when the stuff is coming back out of whatever host it's in, but they deliver what they need to deliver, and that bit with the room is really impressive. There's a couple of like fire stunts and stuff that I really liked as well. So
Okay.
it's always good to revisit this one. Yeah, go on,
I
Dave. Sorry.
am listening, but those Smokey and the Bandits were written and directed by Hal Needham, who wrote and directed the original Smokey, Smokey 2, Hooper, and Cannonball Run 1 and 2.
Yeah, because wasn't Needham originally a stuntman or
He
a stunt
was,
driver?
yeah. Yeah, but
That's how his
I
films had a lot of stunt workers
oh
in
my
it.
god. I found them on YouTube.
Oh,
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
so,
no, okay, go on. You keep go I'm sorry. I didn't know about them and now I do, and now I'm going to watch them. And
I
that's my next week taken care
sense
of.
a smoky special in the offing. Yeah, that was me. It's a joy to revisit, and as I say, considering how ill prepared I was for when I first watched it, I still pretended to really like it because I had a couple of bits that kept me happy, and nowadays I can really say, yeah, it's a great little film. I think compared to other clone movies, it actually keeps going down the list slightly for me though, because of other stuff that Coen tackled and just the ambition that he had in some of his films that I think work a bit better. But it's definitely a fun time. Although I think everyone hopefully should be aware that they go into this as a satire with horror elements, as opposed to, oh, it's got to be a zombification body horror about some stuff.
I had a feeling I'd be in the minority with this one, but I'm happy we watched it now because now I can watch a version of Smokey and the Bandit with Tracy Lord. So yay! But I don't like the stuff. I never did. I keep thinking maybe I'll like it, and just nope. I still don't. I can see the satirical take on greed and consumerism a lot more than I did as a kid, obviously, and I mean, and that's perfect for the Reagan era that this movie came out in. But I always found this movie incredibly boring. Like, don't get me wrong, I definitely appreciate some of the elements in this. It's nice and gooey and goopy, and it does have like a level of charm in it that most of the Larry Cohen movies do have, but. I don't know. This movie just never really worked for me. And Michael Moriarty is actually pretty fun here too, as you guys said. I like him in this, but yeah, I don't know. It's unfocused, and for me, it just lacks a certain energy that I'm looking for when it comes to like satirical horror comedies like this. For me, I much prefer any other Larry Cohen movie to this. It's Alive, Return to Salem's Lot. Just yeah, not my favorite movie not my least favorite movie of the week, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of this one.
Yeah, this is my pick. I think the fastest my brain has ever like processed information and made a decision was when Dave said, "Pick a B movie director," and some voice from like the dark recesses of my unconscious mind just screamed, "Larry Cohen! Pick Larry Cohen, you fool! Pick it before someone else. Pick him before someone else picks him." Because, like, for my money, Larry Cohen is the king of the B movie. It's just the way he combines all that bizarre, gruesome B movie stuff that you want with such sharp social commentary and satire. Like the stuff, I would say the stuff is a towering achievement for me. I think for me the best satire is evergreen. You know, you can easily draw a line to like a modern parallel, like 40 years down the line. And you know, when I watched this, I remembered every time I was in like a queue at my local shop, and some idiot was like holding me up because they can't decide which flavored vapor to buy. Do they want wild watermelon ice blast vapor or fucking kicking kiwi explosion vapor? And I'm wondering why didn't you just go to one of the 7 or 8 dedicated vape shops in our town, for God's sake? Like it took me straight there, and Cohen just gets all that stuff so bang on, like the gross commercialization of stuff that will definitely kill you, and like that very specific, insidious way these products are marketed, because there are no legitimate benefits to list, so they always have to like claim your social standing or something could suffer without their incredible product. And yeah, the Cohen just nails it. It's just a very smart film, I think. But also, it's a film where heads explode, and it's a film where heads implode, and it's a film where heads crack open like bad eggs or melt on the sidewalk. Like the practical effects are fucking amazing in this film and plentiful. There's a great FX sequence coming like every 10 minutes in this movie. The cast is great. Two in particular, Michael Moriarty is fucking amazing. He has amazing weirdo energy, and I love that every part of his character, like the voice, the body language, it's all so heavily villain coded because he is a villain in pretty much any other scenario but the one presented in this film. He's not a good person, and I just think that's such an interesting choice. And it's the same with Paul Sorvino, because he's incredible too. Like he's a full blown DEFCON 1 conspiracy theorist. He's casually murderous. He's racist. He's wildly egotistical, utterly disconnected from reality. So having him be the nation's last hope is just such a fun idea. I love those two performances. Um, the script is fantastic. I don't even know if it's a script because I don't know how much of it was ad libbed by Michael Moriarty. But I love the line, "No one is dumb as I appear to be," and the line, "Well, everybody needs to eat some shaving cream once in a while." I love Paul Sorvino's line, "Pay the drivers, issue a 10% tip, get a cash receipt." He cracked me up at that stage of the film. It looks great. The product design and marketing for the stuff is perfect. Oh, I just love it. I'm not gonna like keep going. Everyone's covered all the good shit. It's just a really smart, entertaining, just a great fucking movie with a great fucking performance by Michael Moriarty. I'm just a big fan. So you should vote for the stuff. Vote for the stuff, or become lesser in the eyes of your peers. Vote for the stuff. Vote for the stuff. Vote for the stuff.
I should vote for the stuff.
Yeah, you should. You definitely should. I'm glad you came to that of your own volition. I should pick one now, shouldn't I? Okay. I'm going to go with stunt rock, which means I've got to say what stunt rock is. Stunt rock is the tale of legendary Australian stuntman Grant Page taking a fictional trip to America to do some stunts and visit his friends who are in the rock music group. Shit, what are they called?
Sorcery.
Sorcery, yeah.
Sorcery. Yes, he visits his friends from the rock group Sorcery, so we get to hear lots of sorcery. Stunt rock is like, I don't mean to sound. This will sound more cruel than it's meant to sound, but stunt rock is a monstrosity. As in, like, the film is a monster, and Trenchard Smith is Dr. Frankenstein. He has stitched together things that should never ever be stitched together, and it's not that I even take issue with the individual pieces that he stitched together. It's just very, very like, behold, a dolphin with the eyes of a chicken. It's like, why? Why have you done this, Brian? What are you thinking? It's not an affront to God or anything, but it's confusing. I don't understand why this exists. I mean, I when it's focused on the stunt portion of stunt rock, I'm in, because Grant Page is something else. He is just this super amiable, insane person with an aura like a huge sunburnt testicle. Like, I can 100% get behind a tribute to him and his career, like 100%. Do I believe that like every like second or third Australian man would do these same stunts just for a cold beer? Maybe, but Page survives, and that's where his worth is. There's some good stuff about like the little montages of like the history of music stunt work. Sorry, little montages of history of movie stunt work, and then another montage of current Aussie stunt talent, current at the time. So it really gets into like celebrating stunt work. The people who risk actual death to deliver quite often like bargain bin cinema, and I think these people deserve our undying love and gratitude. 100%. It's the rock part of stunt rock where things get iffy, because while I didn't actually mind Sorcery, because they're just a silly power metal band singing about wizards and goblins and shit, they work fine as a soundtrack to all the insane stunt work, but they get way too much of the focus. They should very much be heard and not seen, especially the guitarist, who definitely went to his barber with a picture of Dougal from the Magic Roundabout and said, "Give me this," and to his credit, he did. But I was sick to death of the sight of them by the third act. I couldn't handle any more live sorcery footage. There's a third element as well, where it attempts to like shoehorn in the narrative with Grant's two lady friends hanging out in LA, but that doesn't work because like Monique van der Ven is actually quite an engaging and fun presence. I like her, but the problem is like she keeps pushing to do her own stunt work in the film, which is really confused messaging, because like 90% of the film is saying, "Hey, this is extremely dangerous, and only you should be, the domain of rare lunatics." And then you've got this other 10% which is saying, "Ha, anyone can do it. Just let them have a go," which is messy, and the whole thing's a mess basically. But as much as I tried, I struggle to stay engaged at times because it really is a big old mess. Like, Grant Page and the stunt industry as a whole, they deserve their flowers. Even if, like said, flowers are emerging from the sleeve of an actual magician during a live rendition of a song called Wizard's Council. I'm glad Grant Page got his flowers, even though they're some pretty ratty flowers at times. Basically, just tributes to stuntmen. Yes, lots and lots and lots of sorcery. That's me.
I pretty much agree with Craig. Yeah, the stuff with Grant Page is great. I mean, sure, he's a little creepy on the director's wife, Margaret Trenchard Smith, who plays reporter Lois at times. But it's the '80s. Every man was actually, I think it's like '78. It's not even the '80s yet. Every man is a little very creepy, especially in Australia. Sorry, Australia. Monique Vanderven is great, but they don't really use her well. There is a small role from late great comedian Phil Hartman as Monique's assistant. Totally underused. Most of the cast is totally underused, and who is overused are sorcery. I don't disagree with Craig when he says that they'd be fine as a soundtrack, but the problem is they are on screen and center for more than half the runtime. There is more sorcery concert than anything else in this movie, and they are for a band that has a Prince of Darkness and a King of Wizards on stage, they are ridiculously boring. Like their keyboardist wears a mask, and yeah, they do the joke you think they're going to do with the mask, and there's like no personality. I watched the guitarist, whose name is Smokey Huff, make out with a woman, and it was traumatizing. I once came home to see one of my parents doing dirty things with someone, and that was less triggering and traumatizing than watching Smokey Huff try to eat a woman's face. Because it's like a minute of Smokey Huff getting his tongue so far down some random woman's throat that it's just it's triggering. There's a random guy thrown into a pool in chains. I don't even remember if he had a name. And it doesn't like tie into anything. There's just like weird shit going on why? I can't say I enjoyed this overall. I did enjoy bits of it. Anytime there's a stunt going on, there's some fun stuff. You learn some interesting weird shit about how they are going about it when their stuntman is a very amiable yet insane Australian. But then for every scene of that, there's like 5 minutes of sorcery, and that is more sorcery than anyone should ever have to deal with. They really just kind of take the wind out of everything.
You know that I own Rocktober Blood on Blu-ray, don't you?
Yeah, you could have picked that one. That's the other sorcery movie I know. Actually, all of their stuff is tied to a movie. Did you know that?
That's weird.
Yeah, well, that's just how they. I mean, that's literally it. They were not a thing until they were cast in Stunt Rock. That is their first album, is the soundtrack to Stunt Rock. Their second album is for Dick Clark Halloween special in 1982. Their third album is another Dick Clark Halloween special. Their last album is the Rocktober Blood soundtrack. That's it. And then they were done until Eli Roth decided to release their songs from Rocktober Blood and Stunt Rock as singles for his last 4 fucking movies. I'm not kidding. Knock Knock, Death Wish. What else? Oh, I am just totally brain farting. Thanksgiving, all have sorcery songs released as singles, and because of that, they've released EPs on various digital platforms. So fuck you for that, Eli Roth. Fuck you for that.
I really like Brian Trenchard Smith. I mean, I love his Leprechaun movies, and Turkey Shoot is great. Dead End Driving is a fucking blast, but I did not like Stunt Rock at all. I mean, yeah, the stunts were cool, but everything else was like, yeah, nah. I mean, upon pushing play, I thought I was getting a Spinal Tap kind of mockumentary with cool stunts, and I mean, I guess that's kind of what it is. I mean, this predates Spinal Tap by like a good margin, but Sorcery's music is just derivative of everything that came before it. I mean, it felt like they wanted to be Alice Cooper or Black Sabbath Light so bad, but couldn't decide. So let's try and be both and add wizards and suck. Um, yeah, just unfortunately, this is less a narrative film and more of a sorcery concert with stunts. And watching a concert of a band you don't like is pain. I mean, I was forced to go to a Trisha Yearwood concert when I was like 8 years old, and I've had PTSD ever since. But sitting through a sorcery concert might be worse. I can't decide. Um, but yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this one. If it had some sort of plot I could invest myself into, like even a small one, I probably could enjoy it on some level because, like I said, the stunts are cool. But yeah, sorcery sucks, and this movie kind of sucks. But the stunts are cool.
How many times am I going to be chatting away and then realise I've gone on mute, for fuck's sake? Um,
8.
guys,
8
I
is my
don't
guess.
know what to tell you. I'm going to have to cancel the special edition vinyl pre-orders that I got you all for Christmas. This is
I
an
don't. Are we?
astounding ton of events.
Are we doing Secret Satan this year? Because if so, just thank you in advance.
Yeah. Um, I get it. It's yeah. This isn't what I expected either. Not really, and I assumed there would be more of a focus on the stunts and less of a focus on a weird dress-up band who looked like they would party hard only on nights where they didn't have a Dungeons and Dragons campaign planned for their big gig after party. It's they're not good, but I was also amused enough because I just viewed every concert moment as some version of Stonehenge. From Spinal Tap, that's all I could see every time they were on. So that kept me amused. But then when it got back to the stunt stuff is much better. And as Craig said, the Grant Page particularly, but the stunt community deserve their flowers. Brian Trenchard Smith did round about this time make great use of stunt performers. I think am I right in saying we covered the man from Hong Kong?
We did.
Yeah,
Yep,
we
we
did that
did.
one. When I gave Dave a choice, it was got to be this or Death Cheaters, which seemed to be about the same time in both a Grant Page, and I just, although it's called Stunt Rock, I did think the focus would be more on stunts than anything to do with the band. Like I thought the band stuff was got to be whatever was needed to get a plot going to string together these stunt sequences, and that is not the case. The stunt sequences still don't really need much of a plot to be strung together. You just have a real emphasis on the band, and they're not great. So yeah, I mean, hey, this was disappointing for all of us, and I can apologise, but I'm still generally happy to have seen some of the stunt work in this, and those moments where Paige does shine. Like he's quite insane.
Yeah.
And when you think of, I know they go on about, you know, when they're doing this and safety is a priority and they're trying to plan everything, but they still had even less sort of safety available to them back then than they do now. And he's pretty much voluntarily throwing himself off cliffs with bungee cord, like flying eagle setups. That Mad Dog Morgan one's nuts. Just the fire gag. He's good to go again. Again. Yeah, so I think it celebrates that insanity and that talent. And that's when it shines and it's worthwhile. And if it was half and half, I would be tempted to be more generous to us. But it doesn't feel half and half. It feels like we end up stuck for most of the runtime with sorcery.
I
Or
wonder if sorcery had maybe a record deal, and this was a deal that needed to be done to get Stunt Rock made. Like we got to fill the rest of the time with something, and some company said, okay, we got this band, put some footage of them in it, and I don't know.
maybe they phone up Brian Trenchard Smith and they're like, we just had a 2-word review, Brian. It was just shit rock. Shit rock. That's all we said, man. We need to bump up the footage, man. That's how I think the conversation went. I don't know what was the point of Mr. Reincarnated Houdini? What was the point? I couldn't even make out if he was like, was he one of the backing singers in the band? Was he the bass player that we hadn't noticed? And he just wanted to get this
No,
escapology thing done?
he was just a random dude.
And
The thing
Just
is,
a random dude.
escapology is if he can get out of both chains, and they haven't been up, they just haven't been done up very good. You know, if they had done up good, he wouldn't get out and he'd drown. So we just know they haven't been done up very well. So and it's not impressive.
I took a gamble on this because I think over the years, and as I say, certainly at this time, Trenchard Smith, you know, he did his bit to promote the stunt workers and give them their dues, but he also was canny enough to know that if he wasn't given big budgets, he could still make films with talented crews of stunt performers who wouldn't mind getting, you know, thrown down hills and out of buildings and involved in car crashes and this, that, and the other. As long as he got everything on film, he could put together something. So I like that, you know, in his, I'm going to say in his peak years, because unfortunately, unlike Tyler, I'm not putting those Leprechaun films right up there. I think he was really good at doing that. It was a real it was a real sort of win-win for him and the stunt performers. It's just a shame they ever got sorcery involved. Which leaves me with Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. Now, I mentioned to you guys in Messenger that this is true. I was watching Leave Her to Heaven's very classy, beautiful Gene Tierney movie. You know, nobody gives me a second glance. I'm just in with Vicky. She doesn't even look over. I'm watching Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. And when the guy sits on the toilet and you see the camera just looking up at his arse, ready to birth some kind of weird chicken being, then I hear Vicky say, "What the fuck are you watching right now?" I'm like, babe, hours ago it was Leave Her to Heaven. It was classy, honest. She just rolls
Who
her
plays
eyes.
Tyler?
It's
It's
like
much
you.
shorter.
I
Explains
know,
everything.
but she's starting to think that's just an excuse now. I'm like, these really are all his picks. There is a fast food chain that is the site of resurrection and zombified chicken epidemic. That is basically the plot of Poltergeist, and it is a weird, gross out horror comedy with musical numbers, co-written and directed by Lloyd Kaufman. It stars a group of people that I'll probably never see in anything else. Well, no, Trauma tends to look after family, so they might be in other Trauma movies. I know I haven't seen them yet. Jason Yachanan as Arby is a decent fun lead. I like Kate Graham in this as Wendy because again, I've said to you guys, she reminds me of the girl who was in Class of Nukem High. So it was quite lovely. There are a lot of characters who are named after different fast food establishments. That's quite fun to try and spot them. I don't know. I mean, I do quite like this. This is I'm trying to think right now if there is a film that has come after this one that I've enjoyed as much, if not more, from Trauma. I don't think I have. It's very distasteful. It's very on PC. It's very crude and obviously as cheap as usual. It has someone giving it to a slimy chicken carcass is the best way I can phrase that. It has the aforementioned scene with the shots that just look up to show the widening ass crack of someone on a toilet about to be put in a horrendous position. But yeah, it's if you know Trauma movies, I would say this still holds up as one of their better wild ones. Some of the I wouldn't say all of the gore gags are very good, but there are some decent makeup moments and there are some fun, creative kills, some good bits of carnage there. Overall, I still like this enough to give it a Kevin 7, which even that makes me want to go and scrub myself clean in the shower. But it
You'll
is
never
what
be
it is.
clean.
So thanks for making me rewatch it, Tyler. Especially when Vicky was there, just able to look over it now again. In fact, she said to me at one point, "Are you watching porn?" And I said no. And then there was a big musical number where everyone's pretty much naked and trying to make out with one another. And I said, honest, there are people about to birth zombie chickens in a minute. Like, that was the best I could say to defend my viewing choice. It's not porn. There are people about to birth zombie chicken creatures in a minute.
Okay.
Well, I really enjoy Poltergeist Night of the Chicken Dead. Also, yeah, it's deeply, deeply wrong on many, many levels. Yeah, and most of these folks you will not see in other things. I think out of the cast, the only ones that really did anything else is the guy that plays the location manager, Joshua Altunde, hosted a kids educational series called Cool School with Mr. Josh a few years ago. So, if you want to know who's educating your kids,
Mhm.
it's the guy from Poltergeist. And the woman that plays Mickey is in like a bunch of stuff for a long time, including one movie I actually really enjoyed maybe a decade ago called "I Had a Bloody Good Time at House Harker," which we should cover that sometime. That is a fun one. Now that I think about it. But besides that, yeah, most of the cast don't do much. The guy that plays Arby pops up in stuff like, Sound Tech 3 in the background of some random TV show. Uh yeah, I didn't expect it to be. I forgot it was a musical, and the songs all kind of cracked me up, like a lot.
I mean, they're all better than sorcery songs. Let's be
They
honest.
are. They most definitely are. This is one of those interesting ones where it started as a spec script that had just like landed in their office like 14 years before, maybe like 3-4 years before they made it. I don't know. I was about to say 14. Um, and then like different folks just kept taking cracks at it over the years. And I think what they ended up with is something really, really fun. The most of the songs stick the landing. The drive it through type love cracked me up. That is the one where everybody is topless and making out during it. It's an it's sick trauma exploitation, and you either love those or you hate those. It reuses bits from Romeo and Juliet. The poster's in the background, and it reuses a certain stunt quite well. Oh, that stunt might actually be. Was that originally in Sergeant Kabuki Man, the car?
It was.
Isn't that in every I think that's in every Kaufman directed film since.
It is. He
They've
always ends it with the car stunt.
Yeah, they really have gotten their money out of that. I really love some of the callbacks. Arby wears the I love the Monster Hero shirt from Toxic Avenger. I think Wendy's bedroom is stuff from When Nature Calls. Their 1985. God, what was that a spoof of? I am just totally. I haven't seen that one in a long, long time. It's a spoof they did. It's a fun one. I think Tales from the Crapper shows up in a few spots. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a trauma movie, so when I say it's good, there are a lot of asterisks and caveats that you have to kind of tack on at the end of that statement. If you enjoy trauma movies, right? And you don't get upset, it's a fun one. Did you know there was actually a video game tie-in last
Is
year?
it? Is it really?
Trauma presents Poultrygeist. You can get it on Steam right now. It's
Huh.
I think it's also on Epic Games Store. I don't remember. I don't remember if it's on GOG, but yeah, you can. It's there is a game. It is. I haven't played it, but I've seen images.
Hmm.
It is a thing you can play, and I don't know if the word eyesore is proper or motion embolism is.
I
But
know
yeah,
there's a sequel coming out next year.
there's
So
a sequel. Yeah. Yeah, they've already filmed it. I thought they were going to rush it out this year, but it has not hit yet. But yeah,
like,
there's a game that came out a little while ago. I think it's free, so enjoy.
Is it me?
It is.
Yes. Yeah. This is this is easily the most juvenile and offensive piece of crap I've seen in a good while. I had a real good time with it. I think I laughed at the first line of this film, like straight from the off. I think the first line is "You're the best dry humper in our school," and I was already like, and I was laughing for pretty much the entire runtime. Like I was laughing at the stuff that was funny. I was laughing at stuff that wasn't funny. I feel like there is a strong element of anti-comedy in Troma's stuff, and definitely in this film. And when I wasn't laughing, I was humming. I was humming along to the catchy songs, annoyingly catchy songs, or I was trying not to be sick because this movie turned my fucking stomach multiple times. Like more than the gore and the excrement, the food prep in this film just really, really upset me. The gore effects they're pretty incredible. Like just the face removal, the I love the skin face removal is great. Head cracked like an egg into a frying pan, great. Um, bitch titties, you'll have to watch to know what I mean by bitch titties. There's like Kevin said, there's a lot of imaginative carnage in this movie. Um, script, I want to say the script is very good. It's like Dave said, very subjective. I think it's very good because I don't know. It's hard to gauge if I was laughing because it was funny. Like, okay, Rummy, you got your booze, and that Indianapolis speech parody that was funny. But then, I was I laughing because some of it was just so deliberately unfunny. Like Paco Bell, a character called Paco Bell. Is that funny? No. Did I laugh at it several times? Yes. It's really strange. It just got me in the mood to laugh, and I just kept on laughing. Uh, all the performers are really game, especially the two leads. They really they. I wonder whether they actually did like Broadway stuff because I know uh, that Lloyd was looking for those sort of people for this film. I'm not entirely sure. The production design was really strong. Those mutant burgers with the boils on them were just truly revolting. The editing is good, and when I say the editing is good, I just mean like that fart that Carl Jr.'s corpse does as it hits the floor is perfectly timed. So that is essentially good editing. It's I mean, I liked it. Like 50% of this film is Lloyd Kaufman just hosing the set and the cast down with various red, green, and brown liquids. But that's kind of it's what you get. It's Troma. It's what you signed up for. And you can even the offensive stuff. You can be bothered by it being offensive. I get that, but like unlike a lot of comedians where I feel that they offend because they're mean spirited, I feel like trauma movies offend in a way that is very inclusive in a strange way. Like everyone's invited, everyone is welcome in Traumaville. Like we're gonna be mean, we're gonna say awful things about you, but there's no it's there's no hate. It's just foolish. Everyone gets mocked and everybody's friends, and I just kind of love that about Trauma. So yeah, I liked it, and I like that Lloyd Kaufman grew up wanting to make Broadway shows and not direct movies. So I'm just really glad that he got to do this. I don't know whether he was involved in how involved he was in the Toxic Avenger musical, but if this was the nearest he came to like making his Broadway dreams come true, I'm glad Uncle Lloyd got to do it. It's a blast. It's a really good one. It's one of my favourite Trauma movies easily.
Do you know what Jesus said as he died, guys? Yo, biznatch, please. Sorry, I love that fucking line in this song. It's hilarious. But Romeo and Juliet is my personal favorite trauma movie. I mean, we covered that on here not that long ago. Not only is that one of my favorite trauma movies, it's just one of my favorite movies. I fucking love Romeo and Juliet, but Poultrygeist is a super, super close second. This is Lloyd Kaufman's magnum fucking opus of just beautiful, tasteless trash cinema. I've seen this movie so many times since its release, and it still makes me laugh so fucking hard. I mean, it's filled with every bodily fluid known to man. There's shit, vomit, cum, blood, filthy raunch humor, severed dicks. There's tits everywhere. Just those musical numbers, like I said, are fucking hysterical. Dish, Best Served Fried, and Fast Food Love are amazing. I got this on CD, so I can listen to this in my car anytime. It's wonderful. Just when Arby pops up from behind the bed wearing a backwards bandana and rocking a 40 ounce, I crack up so hard. It's just hilarious. I mean, that final act orgy of just ridiculous carnage. There's faces and like meat slicers, implants being ripped out, balls being deep fried, people shitting out eggs, just green shit splattering all over the walls. I mean, I wish I could have been on set for this movie. It's fucking glorious. But yeah, I genuinely love this cast too. Like Arby and Wendy are hilarious. I mean, every single time Wendy does that goofy ass run when she walks away, I crack up. That girl is she's absolutely adorable too. Love Wendy in this. But yeah, it's everything a trauma film should be. I mean, it pokes fun at literally everything and anything, but it does it in like the most heartfelt way. Craig said it just perfectly. It makes no apologies for it either in like true trauma exploitation fashion. Yeah, I love this one. Like I said, my number two trauma film of all time is definitely Poltergeist. I mean, it's hard to beat Romeo and Juliet because that movie is so fucking good. But yeah, Poltergeist is just a classic trauma film.
It's time to pick one, and that's really hard this week because all except for Stunt Rock are a lot of fun and worth your time if B movies are your bag. So for me, I think everybody's gonna vote for their own pick, honestly. For me, it's Chopping Mall, but only by a hair, because I really love Poultrygeist, and it makes me I feel terrible saying that and saying, hey, you should watch Poultrygeist, because somebody's gonna watch it and go, oh Dave, what the fuck, and never listen to a word I say again. But Poultrygeist is a lot of fun if you're willing to go on its journey, and so is uh
Stuff.
yeah, the stuff. I got tongue tied, not trying not to bash the Stunt Rock again on Reflex, but like you can't go wrong with any of those three. They're worth your time. Check them all out. But I give it to, you know, just a hair to Chopping Mall.
It's just a hair with me as well, but and I will be voting for my own for stuff. I just got to give it to my boy Larry Cohen because I love the man, and Michael Moriarty, who I just adore. But Chopping Mall's really far behind, and really close behind that is Poltergeist, and somewhere in the bowels of hell is Stunt Rock.
Damn it, guys. Yeah, it was a solid week of B movies. It really was. I mean, and then there's Stunt Rock, but it was a solid week of B movies. So you can't go wrong with any of them. I mean, like I said, I don't love the stuff. It's not one of my favorites, but you can't go wrong with that one. You can't go wrong with Chopping Mall, but I got to go with Poltergeist.
Oh no, we're giving Kevin far too much power here.
I mean, there was,
he's gonna
I was going to go for
enjoy
Chopping Mall
this.
anyway, but there was
Yes.
there was no need to keep putting the boot into Stunt Rock. Damn you all!
There were 5 regions, the members of Sorcery.
Oh, sorry. Just Chopping Mall's always been it's just had that edge for me. Possibly the Barbara Crampton factor. I mean that does add a lot of weight to it. So I've had my soft spot for Chopping Mall longer than I've had the soft spot for the other titles. So that was why.
But Jim Wynorski, and I'm not complaining. But Jim Wynorski is definitely like the least deserving of these 4 directors. It's just,
I mean,
But I also
Jay,
think
Jay picked a banger.
I also think
Yeah.
we have more Larry Cohens that we can explore
Yeah,
in
and
future episodes.
more Kaufmans also are going to show. Like, this is probably Jim's last hurrah, unless somebody gets really, really drunk and makes us watch Cheerleader Massacre 3.
I mean, I am going to pick Deathstalker 2 at some stage, but
Well, yeah, but
whoever I'm up against is going to have to
Jim.
pick something pretty ropey
That's
for
special.
another Jim win.
Next week, it's back to normal, and it's Craig and Tyler. What do you got for us, guys?
Well, even though Kevin picked the worst film of the week and is an objectively bad person,
And
he has inspired.
watch Leave Her to Heaven, Craig. And watch Leave Her to Heaven.
He has inspired. You have inspired my next pick,
Oh.
Kevin, which is the stunt-laden 1989 action classic Action USA. USA.
Was that you that did the USA bit at the end?
It
Yeah, that
was.
was totally him. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I thought you had some sound bite of something like.
I mean, you know, so that's why I was muted. Me and T were muted because we both went USA. Also, we can't help it. We're trained.
Well, nobody inspired my pick except for me. We're watching the 2021 stripper drama, The Student.
Wow, a movie about a sex worker. I'm so. Whoever would have expected that from Tyler? I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Shocking.
Yeah, just for that, T, you can give him the business. Just give him the business.
We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment and watch Kevin's awesome videos. We have a Discord. We have a Blue Sky. And you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
Now, quickly,
As always,
run and do the Wednesday post, Tyler.
Yeah, I know.
Now, as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. Next week might be normal, but the week after, Anna's going to come on to join us, and we're going to discuss the first half of Stranger Things season 5. Well, Craig won't, because he still wants to like that show, and seasons 2, 3, and 4 broke the rest of us long ago.
It's true. It's true.
I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next week, guys. Bye.
See you.